The throne room of the imperial palace was cold. It was always cold. They liked it that way. They believed warmth made people weak and soft. Everything about their culture valued hardness, sharpness, and cruelty. Emperor Al sat on his throne made of black crystal. He was tall and thin, like all were supposed to be. His skin was pale blue, and his eyes were like two pieces of ice. He looked down at the message in his hands and laughed. "The humans want a marriage alliance," he said to his court. "These tiny, soft creatures think they deserve a princess of the empire." The nobles around him laughed too. They always laughed when the emperor laughed. It was safer that way. Princeton stepped forward. He was the emperor's eldest son, and he looked exactly like his father, tall, thin, and cruel. "Father, surely we will refuse. The humans are barely worth our attention." The emperor smiled, but it was not a kind smile. It was the smile of someone planning something mean. "No, my son, we will not refuse, we will accept." The court went quiet. No one understood. "We will send them a princess," the emperor continued. "We will send them Ra." Now the court understood. Now they laughed again, louder than before. Princess Ra was the emperor's third daughter, but no one ever talked about her. She was the family's greatest shame. While all were tall and extremely thin, Ra was different. She had curves. She had softness. By human standards, she would be called healthy and beautiful, but by standards, she was considered obese and ugly. It was not just her body that made her different. Ra was kind. She smiled at servants. She cared for plants in a small garden. She read books about other cultures. All of these things were considered weaknesses among the humans will be so insulted, Princeton said with joy. They will see her and run away screaming. Exactly, the emperor said. They asked for a princess. They did not say which one. Let them have our defective daughter. It will be the greatest joke in the galaxy. In her small room in the far corner of the palace, Princess Ra received the news. A servant told her quickly and left without looking at her face. No one ever looked at her face. Ra sat on her bed and did not cry. She had stopped crying many years ago. There was no point. Tears did not change anything. She understood what was happening. Her father was using her as an insult. He was sending her to the humans to make them feel bad. He expected them to reject her, to send her back in shame. Then he would laugh about it for years. But Ra also understood something else. This was her only chance to leave. She had spent her whole life in this cold palace. She had been hidden away like a dirty secret. Her brothers and sisters pretended she did not exist. Her father only remembered her when he wanted to make a cruel joke. If the humans rejected her, she would be sent back here. But if they did not reject her, maybe, just maybe, she could find a different life. It was a small hope. Ra knew she should not have hope. Hope only led to pain, but she could not stop herself from feeling it. She began to pack her things. She did not have much. A few simple dresses, some books, seeds from her garden, everything fit into 2 small bags. The next morning, Ra was brought to the departure hall. Her father and brother were there, along with many nobles. They were all smiling and laughing. "Look at her," Princeton said loudly. "The humans will think we sent them a food animal." Everyone laughed. Ra kept her eyes on the floor. The emperor walked up to her. He put one thin finger under her chin and lifted her face. "Try not to embarrass us too much," he said, "though I suppose that is impossible for you." "Yes, father," Ra said quietly. "We are sending only 2 guards with you," the emperor continued. "You do not deserve more. Besides, the humans are weak. Even you should be safe among them." This was another insult. A real princess would have dozens of guards and servants. Ra was being sent with almost nothing. "The human ambassador is named Ho," the emperor said. "He is the one who asked for this alliance. Let him see what he gets for dealing with creatures above his level." Ra nodded and said nothing. The ship that would take her to the human embassy was small and old. Another insult. But Ra did not care. She walked onto the ship without looking back. She did not want to see her family laughing at her. The journey took 3 days. Ra spent most of it alone in her small cabin. She read her books. She thought about what might happen. She tried to prepare herself for rejection. She had seen pictures of humans before. They were small compared to. Their skin came in many different colors. They had strange round eyes and soft features. Most thought they were ugly. But Ra had always thought they looked interesting. They looked warm. They looked alive in a way that did not. She wondered what this Ambassador Ho would be like. Probably he would take one look at her and demand a different princess. Probably he would be angry and insulted. Probably she would be sent home in shame. But still, that small hope refused to die. On the 3rd day, the ship landed at the human embassy on Prime. This was a building the humans had been given for their diplomatic work. It was small compared to the Imperial Palace, but it was designed by humans for humans. Ra stood at the ship's door. Her 2 guards stood behind her looking bored. They did not care what happened to her. "Open the door," she said quietly. The door opened, and Ra stepped out into bright, warm light. The humans kept their embassy warm. It was the first warm place Ra had been in her entire life. She blinked in the light and looked around. There were humans everywhere watching her arrival. They were indeed small, the tallest of them only reaching her shoulder, but they did not look weak. They looked curious and alert. And there, walking toward her with a gentle smile on his face, was a human man. He had kind eyes and black hair with a little gray at the sides. He walked calmly, with no hurry, like someone who was at peace with himself. This must be Ambassador Ho. Ra took a deep breath and prepared herself for the disgust she was sure she would see in his eyes. But the disgust never came. Ambassador Ho stopped in front of Princess Ra and bowed. It was a proper bow, deep and respectful, the kind of bow you give to someone important. Ra did not know what to do. No one had ever bowed to her before. "Princess Ra," Ho said in a warm voice, "welcome to the human embassy. I'm honored to meet you." He looked up at her, and Ra saw something strange in his eyes. It was not disgust. It was not pity. It was something she had never seen directed at her before. It was admiration. "You are even more beautiful than I hoped," Ho said simply. Ra was sure she had heard wrong. "I am sorry, what did you say?" Ho smiled. "I said you are beautiful. Please come inside. You must be tired from your journey. We have prepared rooms for you." He held out his hand toward the embassy entrance. Ra looked at her 2 guards. They seemed confused too. This was not how humans were supposed to react. Ra walked forward on legs that felt weak. She followed the ambassador into the embassy. The warmth wrapped around her like a soft blanket. Everywhere she looked, there were colors and plants and light. It was so different from the cold darkness of the imperial palace. A human woman walked up to them. She was young, with sharp, intelligent eyes and her black hair tied back neatly. She bowed to Ra. "Princess, this is Hana," Ho said. "She is my assistant. She will help you with anything you need." "It is an honor to meet you, Princess," Hana said. But Ra noticed that Hana's eyes moved to the 2 small bags that a servant was carrying. Hana's expression changed slightly. She looked angry, but not at Ra. She looked angry for Ra. "Is this all your luggage, Princess?" Hana asked carefully. Ra felt shame rise in her chest. "Yes, I did not need much." Hana and Ho exchanged a look. They understood. They understood that Ra had been sent with almost nothing. They understood that this was meant as an insult. But instead of treating Ra badly, Ho's voice became even more gentle. "Then we will make sure you have everything you need here. Hana, please take the princess to the best guest room, the one with the garden view." "The best room," Ra said before she could stop herself. "Surely that is not necessary." Ho looked at her with those kind eyes. "Princess, you are to be my wife. Nothing is too good for you." Ra felt something break inside her chest. She did not know what it was. Maybe it was the wall she had built around her heart over many years of being treated like garbage. Hana led her through the embassy. The building was full of life. Human workers moved around doing their jobs. Some of them stopped to bow to Ra. All of them smiled at her. "Why are they smiling?" Ra asked quietly. Hana looked surprised by the question. "Because they are happy to meet you, princess. The ambassador has been looking forward to your arrival for weeks." "He has?" "Oh yes. When your father offered the alliance, the ambassador was very pleased. He believes this partnership will be good for both our peoples." They reached the guest room. Hana opened the door and Ra stopped breathing. The room was huge and full of light. Big windows looked out over a garden filled with colorful flowers. The bed was large and covered in soft blankets. There were comfortable chairs, a desk for writing, and shelves filled with books. "This is mine," Ra whispered. "Of course. If you need anything else, please tell me. The ambassador wants you to be comfortable." Hana left and Ra walked slowly around the room. She touched the soft curtains. She looked at the books on the shelves. She stood at the window and watched the garden below. She could not understand what was happening. This had to be a trick. The humans had to be planning something cruel. But hours passed and no cruelty came. Servants brought her food, human food. It was warm and flavorful, so different from the cold, bland food of the palace. Ra ate until she was full, and no one looked at her with disgust for eating too much. In the evening, Ambassador Ho came to invite her to dinner. He walked with her through the embassy, showing her different rooms and explaining what each one was for. "This is the library," he said. "You are welcome to read any book here. This is the music room. Do you like music, princess?" "I do not know," Ra said honestly. "Music is not valued in the empire." Ho looked sad when she said this. "Then we will have to fix that. Humans believe music is one of the most important things in life." At dinner, Ra sat at a table with Ho and Hana. They talked about simple things: the weather, the embassy, the garden outside. No one talked about politics or power or how Ra was not good enough. Ra found herself relaxing. She even laughed once at a silly story Ho told about his first day as a diplomat. After she laughed, she covered her mouth quickly. Did not laugh. Laughter was considered weak and foolish. But Ho just smiled at her. "You have a lovely laugh, princess. I hope to hear it often." That night Ra could not sleep. She lay in her soft bed and stared at the ceiling. Her mind was full of confusion. These humans were strange. They valued everything they considered worthless: warmth, kindness, laughter, softness. And somehow, impossibly, they seemed to value her. It had to be a trick. It had to be. No one valued her. She was defective. She was a joke. But when she closed her eyes, all she could see was the way Ho had looked at her, like she was something precious. The next day, Ra explored the embassy garden. It was beautiful, full of plants from many different worlds. She knelt down to look at the flowers, forgetting for a moment that she was a princess. "Do you like gardening?" Ra jumped up. Ho was standing nearby, watching her with a smile. "I am sorry," she said quickly. "I did not mean to." "Please do not apologize. I asked because you seem comfortable with plants. Your hands were so gentle when you touched those flowers." Ra hesitated. Then she decided to tell the truth. "I had a small garden at the palace, very small, hidden away where no one could see it. Gardening is considered a waste of time for royalty." "And what do you think?" No one had ever asked Ra what she thought. "I think plants are honest. They do not lie or play games. They simply grow toward the light." Ho nodded slowly. "That is a beautiful way to see it. Would you like a garden of your own here, a real one, not hidden away?" Ra felt tears forming in her eyes. She blinked them back. "You would do that for me?" "Princess Ra, I would do much more than that for you. I want you to be happy here. I want you to feel at home." Later that night, Ra heard voices outside her door. Two servants were talking quietly. Did you hear? The ambassador refused 3 princesses before this one. Why? He said they were too cold. He said he wanted someone with warmth, someone real. Well, he certainly got that with Princess Ra. She is so different from the others. Different in a good way. Did you see how he looks at her? I think the ambassador is already falling in love. Ra pressed her hand against her chest. Her heart was beating fast. Could it be true? Could this human actually want her? Not as a joke, but for real. That small hope inside her began to grow. 3 weeks passed, and Ra's life changed completely. Every morning she woke up in her warm, bright room. She ate breakfast with Ho and Hana. They talked about their plans for the day, about news from different parts of the galaxy, about small things that made them laugh. Ra learned to laugh without covering her mouth. The garden that Ho promised her became real. Workers cleared a large area behind the embassy and brought in the best soil from 3 different planets. They built raised beds and installed a watering system. They even built a small greenhouse for plants that needed special care. This is too much, Ra said when she first saw it. I cannot accept this. Ho stood beside her looking proud. You already accepted it. You accepted it when you agreed to come here. Everything I have is yours now, Ra. It was the first time he had used her name without the title princess. Ra found that she liked it. She spent hours in her garden. She planted seeds she had brought from the imperial palace. She experimented with mixing plants from different worlds. She kept careful notes on what worked and what did not. Hana often came to help her. At first, Ra was uncomfortable having the ambassador's assistant do garden work, but Hana insisted. I want to learn, Hana said. Besides, this is how humans make friends. We do things together. Friends. Ra had never had a friend before. One afternoon, as they worked side by side pulling out weeds, Hana asked a question that surprised Ra. Princess, can I ask you something personal? Of course. Do you know that you are beautiful? Ra stopped working. She sat back on her heels and looked at Hana. I am not beautiful. I am obese and soft. My father has told me this my whole life. Hana's expression became hard. Not hard toward Ra, but hard toward the emperor who had said such things. Your father is wrong, Hana said firmly. Among humans, you are considered very beautiful. Your curves, your soft features, your warm eyes. These are all things humans find attractive. I do not understand. Believe thin and sharp is beautiful. And humans believe warm and soft is beautiful. Different cultures see beauty in different ways. There is no single right answer. Hana smiled gently. But I will tell you this. Every human in this embassy thinks you are lovely, and the ambassador thinks you are the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. Ra felt heat rise to her face. He said that. He did not need to say it. Anyone can see it in his eyes when he looks at you. That evening, Ho invited Ra to the music room. He sat down at a large instrument with black and white keys. A piano, he called it. I am not very good, he said, but I want to share this with you. He began to play. The music was unlike anything Ra had ever heard. It was soft and flowing, like water in a stream. It made her feel peaceful and sad and happy all at the same time. When he finished, Ra had tears running down her face. Did I upset you? Ho asked, concerned. No, she whispered. I did not know anything could be so beautiful. I did not know sound could make you feel so much. Ho moved to sit beside her. He took her hand gently. His skin was warm against hers. Ra, I want to tell you something, he said. When the Galactic Council arranged this alliance, I did not know what to expect. Your father offered me 3 other princesses before you. They were all tall and thin and cold like perfect sculptures. They were beautiful, Ra said, much more beautiful than me. No, they were empty. When I looked in their eyes, I saw nothing, no warmth, no kindness, no life. He squeezed her hand. When I look in your eyes, I see everything. I see a woman who has been hurt but still chose to be kind. I see strength hidden under gentleness. I see someone I could love. Ra's heart was beating so fast she thought it might burst. You barely know me. I know enough. I know you are gentle with plants and patient with servants. I know you read books about other cultures because you want to understand people different from yourself. I know you have spent your whole life being told you are worthless, but you never became cruel. He lifted her hand and held it against his chest. These are the things that matter to humans. These are the things that make someone valuable. My father sent me here as an insult, Ra said. He wanted you to reject me so he could laugh at both of us. I know. You know. Of course I know. I am a diplomat. I understand these games. Ho smiled. But your father made a mistake. He does not understand what humans value. He sent me exactly what I wanted without knowing it. Ra could not stop the tears now. They flowed freely down her cheeks. Ho reached up and wiped them away gently. I am not asking you to love me right now, he said. I am only asking you to give me a chance. Let me show you what life can be like when you are valued, when you are cared for, when you are seen. Yes, Ra whispered. Yes, I will give you a chance. Over the following weeks, their relationship grew deeper. They took walks in the garden together. They ate meals together. Ho taught Ra about human history and culture. Ra taught Ho about the plants in her garden and the languages she had studied. You speak 7 languages, Ho asked one day, amazed. 8, actually. I learned your human language before I came here. Languages are easy for me. That is an incredible gift. Your father must be proud. Ra laughed, but it was a bitter laugh. My father thinks language study is a waste of time. He said a princess only needs to give orders, not understand people. Ho shook his head. Your father is a fool. Understanding people is the most important skill anyone can have. It is the foundation of diplomacy, of trade, of peace. My father does not value peace. He values power. And that is why his empire will eventually fall, Ho said quietly. Power without understanding is just violence. It creates enemies, not allies. One evening, a message arrived at the embassy. Hana brought it to Ho with a worried expression on her face. Ambassador, there is news from the imperial palace. The emperor has heard about how well things are going between you and the princess. Ho read the message. His face became serious. What is it? Ra asked. Your father is not happy, Ho said. His joke did not work the way he planned. Now he is sending your brother to visit us. Fear gripped Ra's heart and is coming here. In 3 days. Ho put down the message and looked at Ra. Do not worry, I will not let him hurt you. You do not understand, and is worse than my father. He enjoys causing pain. He will say terrible things. He will try to humiliate me in front of everyone. Ho walked over to her and took her hands. Then let him try. I am not afraid of your brother, and you should not be afraid either. You are not alone anymore, Ra. You have me. You have Hana. You have everyone in this embassy who has come to care about you. Ra looked into his eyes and saw something she had never expected to find. She saw home. I think I am falling in love with you, she said quietly. Ho smiled, and it was like the sun coming out after a long winter. I know I am falling in love with you. He leaned forward and kissed her gently. It was Ra's first kiss. It was warm and soft and perfect. And in that moment she was not afraid of anything. Not her brother, not her father, not the whole empire. Because she had found something worth fighting for. Princeton arrived with 50 guards and a parade of servants. His ship was 3 times the size of the one that had carried Ra. Everything about his arrival was designed to show power and importance. Ho, Hana, and Ra stood at the embassy entrance to greet him. Ra wore a beautiful dress that Hana had helped her choose. It was in the human style, soft and flowing, with colors that made her skin glow. She was terrified, but she did not show it. Ho had taught her that courage was not about not being afraid. It was about standing up anyway. The ship doors opened and Prince N walked out. He was tall and thin like all proper. His eyes were cold and cruel like chips of ice. He looked at the embassy with obvious disgust. When his gaze fell on Ra, his lip curled. "Sister, I see you are still as fat as ever. I had hoped maybe the humans would not have enough food to keep you so large." Several human staff members made angry sounds, but Ho raised his hand slightly to calm them. "Prince N," Ho said in a polite voice, "welcome to the human embassy. Please come inside," and walked past them without bowing or showing any respect. His guards followed, pushing humans out of the way, but Ho remained calm. He had dealt with difficult people before. Inside the embassy, they sat in the main meeting room and took the largest chair without being offered it. He looked around with a sneer on his face. "So this is where you have been keeping my sister," he said. "It looks like a building for children." "We like color and warmth," Ho said. "It suits us." "It suits weakness," and turned to look at Ra. "Father sent me with an offer, sister. A generous offer considering how much you have embarrassed our family." Ra said nothing. She kept her hands folded in her lap and her face calm. "The Emperor has decided to offer Ambassador a different princess," and continued, "My younger sister, she is everything you are not. Tall, thin, proper, beautiful, a real princess." "I am honored by the offer," Ho said, "but I must refuse." And blinked. He had not expected that answer. "Refuse? Do you understand what I am offering? Is considered the most beautiful woman in the Empire. She has been trained in all the proper arts. She is." "I am sure she is wonderful," Ho interrupted politely. "But I have already chosen Princess Ra. I do not want anyone else." An's face twisted with confusion and anger. "You want to keep her? Have you looked at her? She is fat, she is soft, she is a disgrace to our bloodline." "She is the woman I love," Ho said simply. The room went very quiet, and stared at Ho as if he had grown a second head. "Love," and laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You love that. Humans truly are as stupid as Father says." "Perhaps we simply see things differently." Ho's voice remained calm, but there was steel underneath it. "Where you see flaws, I see beauty. Where you see weakness, I see strength. Where you see embarrassment, I see my future wife." And stood up abruptly. His guards moved forward. "You insult the Empire by choosing a defective princess over a proper one. Father will not accept this." "Then your father can take his alliance and go elsewhere." Ho stood up too. He was much shorter than N, but somehow he did not seem small at all. "Humanity does not need approval to survive. We have existed for thousands of years without you. We will exist for thousands more. You would start a war over this creature," and pointed at Ra with disgust. "I would not start a war. But I will not give up the woman I love because your father's cruel joke did not work out the way he planned." An's face became red with anger. He turned to Ra. "Sister, speak. Tell this foolish human the truth. Tell him what you really are, a failure, a mistake, something that should have been thrown away at birth." Ra felt the old familiar pain of her brother's words, but something was different now. She was not alone. She looked at Ho, standing there defending her against her own family. She looked at Hana, whose hands were clenched into fists at her sides. She looked at the human staff, all of whom looked ready to fight for her. These people cared about her. These people valued her. These people saw her as a person, not a joke. Ra stood up. She faced her brother, and for the first time in her life, she did not look at the ground. "Brother," she said in a clear voice, "I will not say those things, because they are not true." An's eyes widened with shock. "I am not a failure," Ra continued. "I am different from what our family values, but that does not make me wrong. I have spent my whole life believing I was worthless because you and Father told me so, but now I know the truth. Your values are not the only values in the universe." "How dare you speak to me like this?" and hissed. "I dare because I finally understand something. Our family is cold and cruel not because cold and cruel is better, but because you are afraid. You are afraid of warmth because it means being vulnerable. You are afraid of kindness because it means thinking of others. You are afraid of love because it means you could be hurt. Ra stepped forward and then actually stepped back. I am not afraid anymore, she said. I have found people who love me for exactly what I am. I have found a home where my softness is valued, not mocked. I have found a man who looks at me and sees beauty. She straightened her back and lifted her chin. Go back to father. Tell him his joke failed. Tell him his defective daughter found happiness anyway. And tell him that I will not return to the palace. Not now, not ever. Anne's face was twisted with rage. Father will destroy you. He will destroy this whole pathetic embassy. He can try, Ho said, stepping up beside Ra. But he might find that humans are harder to destroy than he thinks. And looked between them, breathing hard with anger. Then he turned and stormed out of the room. His guards followed quickly. When they were gone, Ra suddenly felt weak. Her brave words had taken everything she had. She started to tremble. Ho caught her before she could fall. He held her close and let her shake against his chest. You were magnificent, he whispered into her hair. I was terrified, she admitted. That makes it even more magnificent. Courage is being afraid and standing up anyway. Hana approached them with a worried expression. Ambassador, what do we do now? The Emperor will not take this well. He might actually declare war. Ho helped Ra to a chair. Then he looked at Hana with determination in his eyes. Send a message to Earth. Tell them what has happened here. Tell them about the Emperor's insult and his threat. He paused. And then send a message to the Galactic Council. I want to request an emergency session. What will you tell the Council? Hana asked. Ho looked at Ra. The truth, all of it. About how the Emperor tried to use his own daughter as a cruel joke. About how he is now threatening war because his plan failed. About how the Empire treats its own people. Ra reached out and took his hand. My father is powerful. The Council may not want to oppose him. Then we will make them understand why they should. Ho squeezed her hand. I will not let him take you back. I will not let him hurt you anymore. I promise. And Ra believed him. For the first time in her life, someone was fighting for her. She just hoped it would be enough. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous. Representatives from hundreds of species sat in curved rows that rose up toward a domed ceiling painted with stars. This was the most powerful gathering in the known universe, where the fate of empires was decided. Ambassador Ho stood at the central platform, looking small among so many giants, but his voice was steady as he spoke. Honored members of the Council, I come before you today not to ask for war, but to ask for justice. Emperor Al sat in the section, surrounded by his guards. His face was twisted with anger, but he had to follow council rules. No interrupting while another speaker held the floor. 2 months ago, the Empire and the Human Federation agreed to a marriage alliance, Ho continued. The Emperor was to send one of his daughters to become my wife. This should have been a simple matter of diplomacy. He pressed a button and images appeared in the air above his head. Images of the tiny ship that had carried Ra. Images of her small, worn bags. Images of her 2 bored guards. But the Emperor decided to use this alliance as a joke. He sent his daughter Ra with almost no escort, no proper luggage, and no respect. He chose her specifically because he considered her defective by standards. Murmurs spread through the council chamber. The Emperor expected me to be insulted. He expected me to reject his daughter and send her back in shame. Then he could laugh about how he had tricked the stupid humans. Ho paused, but his plan did not work, because humans do not measure worth the same way do. He looked up at the Emperor. I did not reject Princess Ra, I welcomed her, I got to know her, and I fell in love with her. More murmurs, surprised ones this time. When the Emperor learned that his joke had failed, he was furious. He sent his son to demand the princess back, offering a different bride in her place. When I refused, he threatened war. Ho held up his arms. War, over a marriage alliance, because his cruel prank did not make us suffer the way he wanted. Emperor Al finally stood up. I demand the right to speak. The council chief, a being made of crystal and light, nodded. You may respond, Emperor. Al walked to his own platform. This human twists the truth. I simply offered him a better princess, a proper one. He refused out of stubbornness. The girl Ra is nothing. She has always been nothing. She is an embarrassment to my bloodline. She is your daughter, Ho said quietly. She is a mistake, a genetic failure. You humans are too foolish to see it. The council chief spoke. Emperor, are you saying you deliberately sent your daughter as an insult to the human federation? Al hesitated. He had said too much. I am saying the girl is worthless, and the humans should have seen that. But they did not see that, the council chief said. They saw value in her. Is that not the purpose of an alliance? To bring two peoples together through marriage? They were supposed to reject her, Al shouted. They were supposed to be insulted and angry, not fall in love with her. The council chief's voice was cold. Emperor Al, it seems to me that the only one who has violated the spirit of this alliance is you. Ho raised his hand. If I may, I would like to call Princess Ra to speak. Al's eyes went wide. Absolutely not. She has no right to speak in the council. She is a princess of the empire, the council chief said. She has every right. Ra walked to the platform. She was wearing a dress that combined human and styles. Her head was high and she moved with grace. She did not look at her father. Honored council members, she said in a clear, strong voice. I have spent my entire life being told I was worthless. My father called me fat. My brother called me a mistake. I was hidden away in a corner of the palace like a shameful secret. She turned to face the gathered representatives. I believed them. For 23 years I believed I was nothing. I believed I deserved the cruelty they gave me. Her voice broke slightly, but she continued. When my father sent me to the humans, I expected more of the same. I expected rejection and disgust. Instead, I found warmth. I found kindness. I found people who looked at me and saw a person worth caring about. She turned to look at Ho, and her face softened with love. I found a man who thinks I am beautiful, not despite my differences, but because of them. A man who values my kindness, my knowledge, my heart. A man who fought for me against my own family. She turned back to the council. My father sent me as a joke. He wanted to embarrass the humans and make himself feel powerful. But instead, he gave me the greatest gift I have ever received. He gave me freedom. He gave me love. He gave me a home. Ra faced her father directly. I will not go back to the palace. I will not return to being treated like garbage. I choose to stay with the humans. I choose Ambassador Ho. I choose happiness. The council chamber was silent for a long moment. Then the representative from the Federation stood up. The people support Princess Ra's right to choose her own fate. Another representative stood. The collective agrees she is an adult. She should decide where she lives. One by one, representatives from dozens of species stood up. They spoke of freedom, of choice, of the right of all beings to seek happiness. Emperor Al watched his support crumble away. His face became darker and darker. Finally, the council chief spoke. It is the judgment of this council that Princess Ra may remain with the Human Federation if she chooses. The marriage alliance will proceed as originally agreed. Any military action by the Empire against the humans over this matter will be considered an act of aggression against council peace. Al's hands were shaking with rage. Then I disown her. Ra is no longer my daughter. She is no longer a princess. She is nothing. That is your right, the council chief said calmly, and it is her right to no longer be your daughter. Ra felt tears running down her face, but they were not tears of sadness. They were tears of relief. She walked to Ho and he took her hands. "Are you all right?" he asked softly. "I am free," she whispered. "I am finally free." 3 months later, they were married. The ceremony was held in the embassy garden, surrounded by the flowers Ra had planted. Representatives from many species attended, but the most important guests were the humans and friends who had become Ra's new family. Hana served as the witness. She cried through the whole ceremony, happy tears that she did not bother to hide. Ra wore white in the human tradition. Ho wore formal clothes that made him look like a different man, but his eyes were the same, kind and warm and full of love. When they exchanged promises, Ra spoke in the human language she had learned. "I promise to love you, to stand beside you, to grow with you. I promise to be your partner, your friend, your home, today and always." Ho smiled that smile that made her heart feel full. "I promise the same. You are everything I wanted and more than I deserved. I will spend the rest of my life making sure you know how valued you are." After the ceremony, they walked through the garden together. The flowers were in full bloom, colors exploding everywhere. It was beautiful. Ra stopped at a bench and sat down. Ho sat beside her, still holding her hand. "What are you thinking?" he asked. Ra looked around at her garden, at her home, at her husband. "I am thinking about how strange life is. My father sent me here as a joke. He wanted to hurt me one more time before throwing me away forever. He never imagined that his cruelty would lead me to the happiest moment of my life." "Perhaps he did you a favor," Ho said gently. "Perhaps he did." Ra laughed softly. "He will never understand. He will go to his grave confused about why the humans wanted me. He measures everything by standards and cannot imagine any other way." "And what do humans measure?" Ra leaned against her husband's shoulder. "Kindness, warmth, heart, all the things my father considered worthless." Ho put his arm around her. "He thought he was sending me garbage. Instead, he sent me treasure." They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the sun set over the garden. Ra thought about her old life in the cold palace, about the years of pain and loneliness. That life felt like a dream now, a bad dream that she had finally woken from. This was real. This warmth, this love, this belonging. This was what she had been searching for her whole life without knowing it. Her father had sent her to nothing. He had never imagined that his worthless daughter would find everything she needed among the humans. But that was his failure, not hers. Ra closed her eyes and smiled. She was finally home.